Hello, hello. My name is Larry Duncan-Allen, and I thank you for tuning in to No More Water. Bye. Next time. The topic of my show today is how to deal with a wannabe dictator. Because we have one on the horizon, but not on the horizon. He's here. And there's many other nations. One recently in Africa by the name of Burkina Faso, who had a dictator, and they dealt with him. But in this nation, we don't seem to know what to do. It's like everyone twiddling their thumbs, and many are even. It's like they're just sitting around, waiting to see what he's going to do next. It's almost like a game, like they're almost fascinated with. Wonder what he's going to do next. Even people who are against him, it's like they're sitting around wondering, what is he going to do next? I wonder what he's done today. They turn in the news just to see they turn into the news just to see what he's going to do. It's almost like a fascination, even with those who don't like him. Seem like they're fascinated by him. And that's kind of a sick way for a nation to be. Now, the nation that I've mentioned, Burkina Faso, they have a new president by the name of Ibrahim Traore. He was a general in the army. They had a dictator who was ruining their nation. Those generals in the army took care of him. They didn't just sit back and watch him ruin their nation. And I know many people, when they think of African nations, small African nations, they're a nation of about 23 million people. You think that there's some people living out in the bush, living in poverty. They are a very advanced nation. I looked into them. They have very nice, clean cities. They have their own Uber service called, I think it's Let's Go. It's like an Uber service. All of the cars are electric. That they have electric car dealerships. Matter of fact, they have more electric cars, more percentage of electric cars than the people in the United States has. But many people think of Africa, like I said, they think of those in the bush, those living out. See, most of those people you see living out in those huts, in those old houses, old clay houses, those are people who want to hold on to a certain culture or tradition and don't want to let it go. Even the governments have been wanting them to leave those places and come into the city, but they're not making them. They're trying to urge them to. There's always going to be people who like here. We have people who live up in the rural areas, like in the Appalachians. In Appalachia, they're living horrible down there. Now, if you went there and measured the United States, and all you ever saw was the people you living in Appalachia, and took that to other nations, they think we were all living horrible here. But that's what people does to African nations. They find the worst and make it appear as though the whole nation is living that way. Just look at Ghana and other cities. Ghana make their own jetliner, have been making it for about 30 years. They had vaccine over there, COVID vaccine that they made themselves, but you don't hear about that. They make it seem like as though unless the white people man is there, and Europeans, you're behind the times, and you are just undeveloped. You can't be developed unless Europeans come around. When the truth is, even in the United States, most of the technology that we gain here doesn't come from Europeans. It comes from foreigners. People from India, different places who come here and start a lot of the tech companies here and running the tech companies. Even during World War II, the way that the United States got the atomic bomb before Hitler did was they imported people from all around the world. It wasn't just the white people here who invented it. They imported people from around the world. And in this nation, I was really fascinated to see all that was going on there. And in the United States and many others are already start speaking against him because he's helping his people. He put the foreigners out. He told them, you no longer have to process our gold. We'll do it ourselves. They were processing the gold and giving them pennies on the dollar. He ran them out. He said, we'll do our own manufacturing. And he's really advancing his nation. So you can expect them to speak against him and cause trouble for him. They already say he's using, because people like Beyonce and different people have imitated him, put on, well, not imitated, but have highlighted him, and many other black celebrities, and dressed like him, and they've lighted him, say he's just a force using celebrity. He didn't use the celebrity. The celebrities did it on their own. What we have is a force here in this nation. Everyone just watching him destroy the nation and can do nothing about it. The United States Constitution has provision, it has checks and balances to prevent a dictator and authoritarian government. But once it happened, it has nothing in place to stop it. Trump slipped through the cracks. They weren't counting on someone who was going to have all three branches of government and people following him like a cult. They never envisioned that. They thought it was going to be all rich white males, but with good morals and ethics, which I can't see how they had that on slaves. But on what they consider ethics and tradition, running the nation, doing the right things, being a good steward. They weren't counting on the Trump. They thought it was going to happen when Obama got in office. But they were fooled. The idiot who came behind him without that orange on his face was the one who destroyed the nation. They kept saying, if Obama get in office, he's going to ruin this nation. If Hillary get in office, she's going to ruin this nation. If Biden get in office, he's going to ruin this nation. Trump inherited an economy that was the envy of the world from Biden. Now he's talking about he inherited a mess. No, he created a mess out of the best economy in the world in under 100 days, in just about a month, really. You notice, every time a Republican come in office in the last 50 years, every time a Republican come in office, they ruin the economy. A Democrat has to come in behind them and correct it. And they usually, in Trump doing the same thing again. In his first term, he was riding off of Biden's economy. Because when a president get in, it takes about 4 years before his policy take effect. It doesn't take effect immediately. Biden had to repair his mess. Obama had to repair George Bush's mess, and Clinton had to repair his father, H.W. Bush mess. Biden had to repair Trump's mess, and the president come behind him if we have a president behind him, is going to have to repair this mess. But see, in other nations, they take care of business. They're supposed to be backward. They're supposed to be S-hole countries. But they know how to take care of business. They're not going to let one man ruin their nation. That's the old way that it used to be, but not anymore. So you're going to hear a lot of people talking against this man. His name is Abraham Traore. You're going to hear a lot of people speaking against him because anytime an African leader is helping his nation and not letting others run their economy. You take in Ghana. Now they pretty much run their economy, but others have a hand in it. And many of these African nations, the French and other people still running their economies. You know that they had to still pay $500 million a year to France after colonialism, but they were idiots for paying it. Stop letting people just come in and take your stuff. Why do you owe them some money for stealing your stuff? That's the reason Haiti is in the shape that it's in. Haiti could never be conquered. Napoleon couldn't conquer them. The French, no one could conquer Haiti. So the United States and France left Haiti out of the world market, and Haiti had to pay reparations to France for the stuff they wouldn't allow them to steal. And it took them 100 years to pay it. That's why Haiti's so poor. It was done by design. They left them out of the world market because they kicked France's butt and everyone who tried to invade them. Ethiopia was the same. No one could conquer Ethiopia. Ethiopia was never colonized. and they tried to keep them out of the world's market. Anyone who wouldn't allow them to be conquered, allow their nation to be conquered, the United States and France and the rest of Europe kept them out of the world's market. That's why I don't really care what happened to Europe. I almost don't care about what happened to this country anymore. But I'm here, and a lot of us are here, and it's going to affect us. But not as bad as us, because we're used to not getting anything. All these affirmative action and DEI they said we was getting, others was getting more of it. People of color and white women was getting most of that. But I can't say white people because everyone else was locked into 17%. White women was getting most of that. That left with everyone else in that 17%. That left the white male, the minority, and he's walking away with 83%. But when you put a black face on thing, that made people look at the 17% and not looking at the fact that the white male was walking away like a fat cat with 83%. Even with DEI, white women was getting 78%. Black people was getting like under 1.5%. But unless they're getting everything, they think they're getting robbed. They have to have everything. Can never play on an even playing field. If they do, they complain and say they're being discriminated against because they have to play equal. And really not playing equal, so they got a huge advantage there. But they always look at what you got and never what they got. If they could get $1 million, you get $100 out of it. They're looking at your $100 and saying they're being robbed. Cannot play fair. Even with white women on jobs, they cannot play fair. See, this DEI is affecting white women more than anyone. They're going to lose more jobs than anyone. But they helped put this idiot in there. Now the farmers, they're crying. I feel nothing for them, those farmers, because I tell you why. He's not coming again. When the farmers was getting subsidies, the white farmers, black farmers got nothing. That's why it's not hurting them so bad, because they used to getting nothing. Okay, when the white farmers got money, when Trump put in the tariffs before, and they lost money. Remember how they subsidized them? But the black farmers wasn't subsidized. But you always say it's never about race. That's not systematic racism. Well, why weren't the black farmers subsidized? The black farmers sued. And you know what happened? Excuse me. When the black farmers sued and they were about to get their money, you know why they didn't get the money? The white farmers sued and said they wanted some of the black farmers' money. They want some of the money that the black farmers should have got that they already got. They want some of that money, and the black farmers never got it. That's why if you lose your farm, I'll clap my hand and be happy. I hope every last one of you lose your farms. All of you that got that money and stopped the black farmers from getting theirs, I hope every last one of you lose your farms. All of you who cried about black people DEI and didn't want black people to get anything, I hope every last one of you lose your jobs. I'm not the forgiving type when you still doing this thing. You want to be forgiven, stop what you're doing. How can somebody forgive you and you still doing the same thing? Ain't going to keep on doing it. Because as soon as you get back what you had and want, you're going to start with the same practice again. It's a shame that people got to make laws to make you treat people right. What kind of people is that? I got to make amendments and laws just to make you treat other folks right. Those types are deplorable people. You don't have to make laws. Let me tell you, black people as a people, we don't harm no one. We're kind to everyone. As a people, I'm not talking about no individuals who commit crimes. Those are individuals. But collectively as a people, we look out for everybody. We like everybody. The problem is, don't nobody like us. You elected that idiot to hurt us. That's what you did it for. It wasn't for no immigrants and all that. Because you knew after the immigrants, he coming after us. You had see you heard you going after those Latinos because they helped elect Obama. That's when you started it. You started that woke stuff when many white folks started helping after George Floyd. They actually read and saw what was actually going on with black people in this country. There's many white people when they get on social media talk crazy, they don't really know what happened. They say black people contributed nothing. They don't know about all the black inventors. They don't know all the jobs that black folks had done. Do you know that black people saved Chrysler? They don't. No one talks about that. Chrysler had filed for bankruptcy. They were on the verge of bankruptcy again. You know what happened? Do you remember when Snoop Dogg was around here smoking all that weed? Usually a person like that, well, no one would put them on a commercial, right? Leo Coker, who was head of Christ at the time, he was on a commercial with Snoop Dogg, even though Snoop Dogg was a known weed smoker. But you know what happened? Chrysler hired black designers to come in and design their cars. A lot of people don't know that and start appealing to black people. And that's how Chrysler is saved. Anytime people want to get saved, they appeal to black people to come buy their stuff. That's how Fox got started. We didn't live in color, bringing on all those black shows. You see how Fox the only one bring on all those different black shows? They know a lot of black people gonna watch it in numbers, and that's how they build themselves. You see how those black shows on Tubi? The same person who on Fox on Tubi. He's building Tubi up, and he want Tubi to take over the internet market on movies. They build themselves up through black people. Back to Chrysler. A black man designed the Chrysler 300. You know when they started getting really popular back in the early 2000s, around 2004, when they started bringing one that's supposed to mimic a Bentley. A black man designed it. They're still designing them. When a black woman designed the new Ford Mustangs, you know, the one that started back around the same time. A black woman designed the Ford Mustang. It's funny how people, when they want to be saved, they come to us. But once they get saved, they say to hell with us. Like Fox. Once they got saved, now they got Fox News. Nothing good about black people on there. It's on there. Nothing. Nothing good. But see, those type of things people don't talk about. See, they don't know about all the black economic centers that was destroyed. Every time black people build themselves up economically, everything they built was destroyed. There were black cowboy towns out west, burnt to the ground. Now we're inferior. Why would you keep ruining us every time you see us advancing? You think we're going to surpass you. What happened with the Latinos is after they start talking about when Obama got in, that's when they start talking about the browning of the United States. And that's what they're trying to stop. That's why they're trying to get all the people of color out and bring in and import in white people. You see, they're not complaining about immigrants from Europe. And see, another thing is that the people of color, at one time, they were treated like honorary whites because they voted Republican. They didn't like black people. They didn't vote for black people, but they fooled them with Obama. They were really shocked that those people voted for Obama because they usually vote Republican and don't vote for black candidates. Even some of the white anchors on television said it. Said when Obama, during the presidential election, and there was one state that was full of Latinos that didn't go to Obama. He said, well, Latinos historically do not vote for black candidates, but then they started voting. The votes started coming in. Latinos was voting for Obama, and that's what they don't like about the Latinos now, because when When a black man would have got killed for just whistling at a white woman, you had Lucy and Ricky Ricardo and white women making singing songs about their Latin lover. They Immigrants would come to this country, and one way they they assimilated themselves was the hatred that they showed towards black people. But see, watch these African countries. They'll show you how to deal with a dictator, but you're too arrogant to learn from them because they're supposed to be inferior. Go over there. Look online and get the testimony of people to go over there. They have nice modern cities there. Wiring. They're in their cities, not out in the outlying areas, but in the new modern cities, they have underground wiring. Their lights don't go off every time it storms like you do here. This is antiquated what we got here. Our infrastructure is antiquated compared to the rest of the world. Because after World War II, Europe and many Asia and many other places, they rebuilt their infrastructure because it was ruined by war. But instead of the United States rebuilding its infrastructure, it spent trillions of dollars on wars because they fight stopping communism and fighting for stopping dictatorships and fighting for democracy. Had other nations fighting for democracy as their proxy. Millions of people killed. Now here we are with a dictator going against those democracies, telling them now if you want our help, you got to pay for it. You the one started them doing this, and now you started this, and now you telling them they have to pay for it. Give us your mineral rights. I wouldn't give them nothing. Just tell them we don't want to be bothered with you. Take your stuff and go on about your business. That's what Africans begin to tell them, and Africa is not on the radar because people don't expect anything from them. But they're up and coming. If you can see their cities, when I was watching scenes and shots from Burkina Faso, Burkina Faso, and saw how modern they was. All these brand new electric cars, electric car dealerships there. People riding on mopeds, and see that's another thing. In many other nations, people ride mopeds and scooters around town. But here, we want to be big, but show off. Now, show how much money we got. We have to have a car, big fancy car to drive around. But they drive up women driving scooters there. The women here, you couldn't catch them driving that. We do it just for recreation, not for a source of transportation. Very few does, but the majority, people, you have to have a car and show off with it. But no one wants to learn. We never want to learn from other nations. The United States no longer has a AAA credit rating. It costs more for them to borrow money, so it's going to cost more for everything. Trump ruined that, but many are still following him. Many of the farmers say they'll no longer vote for him, but let's let them do something they like, and they'll vote for him again. But see, and one thing about it is that most of the Latinos that I've seen that voted for Trump, they voted to hurt somebody else that they didn't like. Most of the people that vote for Trump, when he said he was going to do this to these people, do this to that person, you didn't know he was going to do it to you. So that's why I don't feel sorry for you, because you sorry you got hurt and no one else did. Well, I can't say no one else did. They did get hurt, but you sorry that you got hurt also. Trump didn't keep it. He's not discriminating in his hurt. He's hurting everyone, white folks, everyone. And now many other people begin to say how it feels like to be treated like an N-word. How does it feel? And you're just getting a small dose of it. See, if many people who talk that crap about black people didn't do nothing, full of crime, if you notice among black people, there's a certain demographic who commit crime. I believe about 4 or 5 years ago, the FBI put out a report that crime in the black community, but 90% of the crime was committed by less than 2% people, and they were repeat offenders. If all black people out here committing crime, why is it out at less than 2% by the same repeat offenders between the ages of 14 and 22? Among that group, crime is out of that group. Then when you get to the working class black people, they rarely commit crime. So that let you know it has to do with economics. And then when you look at the violent city, which most of them are in red states, because most black people live in red states. Most people live in red states all their lives. But when you look at the violent cities, look at the communities, the black communities surrounding them. You have black communities surrounding those cities that are virtually crime free. But no one talks about that. Yeah, no one talks about that. Those cities around the largest city, all the outlying communities of working class black people that are virtually crime free. So it let you know crime among black people mostly has to do with economics. Not because you're inherently violent to commit crime. No, I think no. We haven't been going around the world committing global crimes. That's not us. We didn't lynch people. We didn't burn up towns every time someone else started doing well. That's not us. See, when you on top, you don't have to do a lot of that stuff that the people on the bottom are doing. So you can sit back and point fingers. But let's happen when things, see what happens when you're on the bottom. See, one thing that happens with many other people is that they've been trained to look down on someone. They got black people to look down on. When you got someone to look down on, you take your suffering better. You have people who could be, you have white people and others who can be poor as they can be, but they're still content because they got some black folks to look down on. I told you before about the guy whose family was suffering from malnutrition. They didn't have anything to eat. And they asked him, why come you didn't get food stamps? And he said, well, I didn't want to seem like an N-word. He would have let his family starve. Because he thought that food stamp was just for black people. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to come back. So give me a few minutes. And I'll be back.
Hi, we're here today to promote the Juneteenth Art Contest. This year we have 2 categories. We have the youngest, the 12th through 5th grade, the K through 5th grade. We want all the artists to submit their original art piece, whether it be sculptures, abstract, watercolor, however you want to submit it. It has to be an original art piece. And the first place prize is $186.50. We also have the second category, which would be 6th through 12th grade. Again, we want original art pieces. Submit them by June 18th. Please get your submissions in.
Rose, it's just so cute.
I like big books and I cannot lie. Informative or sci-fi. When a girl walks by with a book from the case like Steinbeck in her face, she looks smart. Exercising her mind, no better use of her time. Whether research or non-fiction, it's gonna help with that diction. Adventure, I wanna get with ya. That book's got pictures. My homeboys tried to warn me, said where is Waldo?
It's kinda corny.
All my friends, they're asking me. Humor or action, reading books brings satisfaction. Reading brings such knowledge and helps do well in school. Teaches us what we need to know. Yeah, reading is so cool. Even magazines, graphic novels are my thing. I like humor and history, biographies and mysteries. So fellas, if you like to read those books, check that great book out. Library got
Going
books.
to the library, checking books out. Going to the library, checking books out.
Library got
Going to the library, checking books out. Going to the library, checking books out.
Library got books.
Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna put up my Cash App. Got to put everything up. My graphics. I mean, nowadays I'm the engineer and everything. We don't need all that like we used to. I support my Cash App. I hire a crew so this show can support itself. Because each show you do, you have to be able to support itself. It's really getting warm in here. I don't have time to go and turn anything on. So I just weathered. I'm about to take these because I'm sweating. See, many people became angry with me because I called the farmers that they were bringing in from South Africa, the South African hillbillies. Many people say, oh, they're rich. No, they're not rich. If they were rich, they wouldn't have to put them up, feed them, give them a stipend, give them food stamps. But what happened is they were the worst of the worst. I'll tell you why. If you lived in a nation of 63 million people, your people made up 8.1% of the population. Your control is worse than I thought. 96% of the wealth. And the other people just control 4%. Yet you still can't make it? There's something wrong with you. All of you should be making and do well. You control 96% of the wealth. I thought it was like 70%. I thought it was 93% of the wealth. What more you want? And you say you being persecuted? You need to be persecuted. You got all my money. I'm going to persecute you. You need to throw all of you out. See, one thing about the African countries, they didn't run the colonizers out. And we have to eat corn and water. I do it before I let them colonizers in there. Run them out of your country. And that's the one thing they didn't do. And many of those nations, the black people run it politically, but the white people run it economically. Run them people out of your countries when it's time for them to go. Send them to the airport or train station, wherever, butt naked with nothing. That's what I would do. Send them, but quit being scared of the United States. Sweat off. Quit being scared of the United States. Scared to do something to them people, scared of what they're going to do. Who's getting scared of Europe? They hate. I was talking to a white guy the other day. And see, I'm going to tell you, they said, well, you must not like white people. I got a lot of white friends. They know how I am, and if they think I'm talking about them, then they got a problem. But I don't sort through people. I state the facts. And if I was lying, I have to sort through people. I say facts and let it fall where it may. And if anyone thinks it's falling on them, then they're part of it. Because when people talk about black people, and that's what I talk about because I'm black, and we got some problems that why my white friends don't have, them and their people don't have, so they don't have to talk like me. I got some problems, and I'm not going to stop talking about my people and the problems because I got some white friends. And if they can't take it, then they just have to do what they got to do. Because people don't sort through us. When it says black people doing something, they say black people. They say black people commit crime. They don't say some black people. They say black people. And they don't sort through us. If they don't sort, I'm not going to sort either. We got some problems that we really got to deal with. And if some of you black people, like I told you before, if you want to leave here, start your GoFundMe. And those people talking about go back to Africa or get out. You don't love it or leave it. Well, give me the money. I'll go. And I'm not talking about no plane fare. Gotta be more than that. If there 5 million black people in this country want to leave here, there's all 5 million of you. Start a GoFundMe to get up out of here. It'll get their attention. and they'll start taking us a little more serious. They think we just scared and want to just stay here and just keep taking this. Every so often, every time we start making gains, there's a new reconstruction to take all our rights away. We have to start over again. All the gains of the civil rights movement, that's been wiped out. See, I might get in trouble for saying this. The only way to true freedom, the only way for true freedom is through the barrel of a gun. Because that's what they talk about doing. So if somebody come after you, you got to defend yourself. Without the shedding of blood, there's no remission. And we can't keep letting folks shed our blood. But look, back to what I was saying. Those people that come in from South Africa, they say I called them the South African hillbillies, and I was wrong for that. But I don't care what people say. I call them what I want to call them. They call us what they want to call us. Watch this. Now, that was nice, wasn't it? That's what they are. That's what they are, hillbillies. They can't make it in a nation where their people is 8.1% of the population out of 63 million. They control 96% of the wealth, and they still can't make it. That's all they are, is hillbillies. Less than hillbillies. But see, Abraham Traore, he taught them how to. He was a general in the army, and when their president was selling out their nation, letting France take most of their money, he came in. The army came in under his leadership, and they got him out of there. He's now the president or the prime minister, and what he's doing is phenomenal in that country. So expect the United States, Europe, and other people to start talking against him. They've already started. So expect them to come after him, because any African leader that's truly running his nation and not letting it be ran by proxy from Europe, he gets in trouble. Or they come after him and try to kill him. Now, the United States has a policy where they don't kill other leaders. They used to, but they don't kill other leaders. But look, what did they do? They do it by proxy. They had Saddam Hussein killed when they went into his country. Left him open to be killed. They didn't do it themselves. They had the people to do it. Muammar Gaddafi, they set it up for him to be killed. They didn't do it themselves, but they set it up. The United States set it up. Manuel Noriega, they invaded Panama, brought him to the United States, put him in prison, he was in prison here in the United States, down in Georgia, to the day he died. Because they didn't like the way he was running the country. They tried it with Daniel Ortega down in Nicaragua, but he didn't play with them. They did everything they could to get him out, because he didn't do what they said. They say they don't really think he won the election. But Trump didn't win the election against Hillary according to the popular vote. Could you imagine in Nicaragua or somewhere, any other nation, where a person win by more than 3 million votes? Because Hillary Clinton won. Hillary Clinton. Oh, let me get my tongue together. Hillary Clinton won by close to 3 million votes over Trump in the popular vote. But still, the electoral vote makes Trump president. Now, what if that happened in Nicaragua or Costa Rica or any other, Panama, any other country that the United States doesn't like? They wouldn't recognize their government. Would maybe even send people to start a proxy war with them or invade them themselves to get them out. But you feel you could do whatever you want to do in the United States. No one can have nuclear weapons but who you approve of. But you can have all you want. All the Caucasian nations can have all they want. You want to guard over the world. That's the reason South Africa was down there at one time to protect the shipping lanes. At one time, but before the Suez Canal was built, ships had to go around the Horn of Africa. They wanted to go from the Atlantic to the Pacific, or the Pacific to the Atlantic. They had to go around the Horn of Africa and come back up. That's why the Suez Canal was built. Apartheid was in Africa all the time. The only reason the United States went along with getting rid of it was because they no longer needed South Africa down there. Israel was put there, a white nation. Come on, they're a white nation, you know it. They was put there to guard the Suez Canal. Every waterway where the shipping lanes are at has a white nation there. Every one. So that's why they were put there. So you see, but see what's going on now. You can tell when a nation, an empire, is in decline. Remember when Britain and France, Europe was in decline at one time. So what they did, they started finding other lands to conquer, steal their resources and rights to prolong themselves. What's the United States doing now? They eventually fell from being the empires they were. But what is the United States doing now? Trying to take other people's land, talking about taking Canada, Greenland, trying to get other people to give them rights to their raw resources, to their raw minerals. Isn't that what Britain and the rest of Europe did? That's what an empire in decline does. It tries to branch out, take other people's resources. The white rule dominance of the world is on its way to a decline, and that's what they're trying to prevent. But in trying to prevent it, Vladimir Trump doesn't realize that he's actually helping to move it along further. The rest of the world is laughing at the United States. Europe is in decline. And that's what they're afraid of. The white, and they just be like any others. They're not the first person to dominate the world. At one time, Africa did. They had Timbuktu, those great African civilizations, Egypt. At one time, Africa did. Dominated the earth. Africans did. At one time, the Asians did, back during Genghis Khan and all. At one time, and so now the white man, he's going through his rule, and he is going to come to an end just like all the others did. But he's trying, the only difference with him is in his nuclear weapons. What type of people? They want to talk about people being backwards and not technologically advanced. People in their right mind don't build. Their technology is towards helping their people, not building weapons that can destroy people and the planet. What type of degenerate people does that? But see, the only way the white man may be able to hold on to his rule with nuclear weapons, he'll blow it up rather than give it up. Or share it. So But they won't learn from us. We will be their good teachers. They won't learn from us. You want to stop this man? Let the military stop him before he destroys this nation. Our generals need to grow some balls. Need to go in there and put an end to this. Because it's going on too far. Too long. It's already too long. It's gone too far, and it's already going on too long. And it haven't even been 6 months, but it's been just a little over 3 months. And look at the damage that's been done. The United States is the laugh of the world. Many people begin to stop using the U.S. currency. See, the dollar was always the dominant currency in the world because of the stability of the United States. People no longer see the United States as stable. So they're no longer investing. They're no longer using the dollar as a staple. So you didn't know that your own racism was going to cause your demise as being the premier and dominating factor in the world. Y'all knew this racism was going to get to you one day. The military need to go and get this man out. But in this nation, you've been so controlled. You always think you're invincible and this can't happen to you. And black people, we're the same way in a way when it comes to the government or the courts coming to save us. We're looking for the people who try to destroy us to save us all the time. The courts don't have any power anymore as far as Vladimir Trump is concerned. They give him an order, and he said he don't care what they say. So don't expect them to come save you. They're afraid of that. Every branch of government is afraid of this man. And Congress, they're not going to save you. Even if Congress is turned in 2026, he's not listening to Congress. And they're not doing anything about it. He's not listening to the Supreme Court. Yeah, he's losing cases, but he's still doing what he want to do. So what good is of him losing the case and he going to still do what he want to do? Because there's not a system in place that can go in there and stop him. Unless the military take over, have a military coup. Because if Congress pass some laws, even if it's flipped in 2026, we may not even have elections. And the way things are going, it's going to take white people to flip it because they've just about disenfranchised the black vote. We may not have a say in it. Or not much of a say. So, we got a lot to think about. And as I was saying about the GoFundMe, back to that. Start your GoFundMe if you want to get out here, because you're not going nowhere. Don't go nowhere broke. And if the government want us gone, we should let them know. You don't have to be in prisons. Give each one of us $1 million. See how many are taking it up out of here. You don't have to be worried about us anymore. It's going to be some who love this country, so they're going to stay here. But for those who want to stay, well, I don't have no criticism for them. They can stay if they want to. I can understand that. Believe it or not, I can understand it. But for those who want to leave, and let's leave the other ones alone who want to stay. Because we all don't have to do the same thing. And if they want to keep the black prisons here, that's their prerogative. I don't mean to say, I'm not going nowhere. I used to say that too. But you got to remember, it's just starting. It's just starting. Yeah, just starting. I have my Cash App up. Send me some money. I want to keep doing this, and I want to bring some guests on, some very important guests who can give more insights instead of just me talking. because I'm really not used to just sitting talking by myself. I'm used to having a panel and talking with people, and we're going back and forward asking questions. But I need money for that because I need this show to be able to sustain itself. Can say, well, you get money, brother. No, each show have to be able to sustain itself. That's the reason I stopped for a while. This show wasn't sustaining itself. So hit my Cash App up. And one thing I'd like for you to do is to subscribe to my channel, City of Champions Media, on YouTube, and City of Champions TV on Facebook. And soon I have a Roku channel. And and subscribe, like this, so we can increase the algorithm. Share it, so we can get more views, increase the algorithm, and raise more money and keep it going. I don't want to stop. See, right now I'm doing it out of my pocket. That's why I'm asking you for some help. I had a cable. I still have a cable television station, but I don't operate it anymore because it was just a money drain. People don't watch cable anymore. I can fire the cable channel up anytime I get ready, but people just don't watch cable anymore. And what's the point in keep doing something where no one's watching? Most people don't have cable anymore. But hit my Cash App if you can, and keep me going, where I can get better and bring more people in, and because it's kind of hard to get people just to do commercials, on the social media channels, especially in this area where I'm at. So I do better just by putting up my YouTube. I wish somebody would start supporting and like, share, and subscribe. That would help out immensely. But we went, like I say, when I was saying about the getting back to the GoFundMe, set you one up if you want to get out of here. There's many nations you can go to with $1 million. But if you set it up, make sure you spend it on that. You don't take it and spend it on something else because you'll ruin the whole program. Let's start the $1 million drive. Let them see we just don't have to stay here. You've been one us gone. You say you want us gone, put your money where your mouth is. Because they're spending money to send hillbillies, bring hillbillies here, and that's not the last of it. Bring them here over a lie. Give us money to leave here over the truth. It's been a pleasure being with you tonight. I'm not going to hold you long tonight. But I just want to get that out about the, they're bringing in hillbillies here. And let me hit that again for you. I like that. South African hillbillies. Yep. I didn't want to play the bit for hillbillies music is under copyright. South African hillbillies. You see, I'm making fun of them. A lot of people have said that I'm making fun of them. I am. See, we got to be so careful about what we do, but people are not careful about what they do towards us. If you can give a woman $1 million for calling a little black boy the N-word, give us $1 million and get up out of here, or peace. See, one thing about us, and they got angry because black people raised a few $100,000 for a black boy who stabbed a white boy to death for his defense. He hasn't been guilty. He hasn't been found guilty. So that was for his trial. He deserved a trial just like anyone else. You take up money for white people who kill black people. Policemen. You took up money for George Zimmerman before his trial, who started a fight with Trayvon Martin and shot him because he was losing the fight. You took up money for him. You took up money for Derek Chauvin, the policeman. You took up money for him, but living on someone's neck and killing him. Killed George Floyd. You took up money for every white person. You took up money for Kyle Rittenhouse. I know for killing the guys that was at a black. Well, it was a rally, but you know every rally is called Black Lives Matter. It was two Jewish guys. They were white, but still you took up money for him for his defense. Every time a white person killed someone, other at a like because they was at a rally and because they were Jewish, or if they kill a black person, for every black person that a white person killed, you took up money for them. But as soon as black people take up money for somebody black for killing someone white, then you got a problem with that. You don't tell us what to do. Who do you think you are? We take up money for who we want to take it up for, just like you did. See, one thing about it, it's a lot of things black people just not taking off you. Notice, we're not taking off you anymore. Let me not start one sentence before I finish the other. We're not taking a lot of stuff no more. Notice, we're not out in the streets no more. We don't have time for that no more. When they went up to Cincinnati, the Nazis go into an area in a black community overpass. They got their butt ran up out of there. And the police tried to protect it, but the police, people going around the police, ran them up out of there. Then the Klan called themselves going to come in that area, put out some literature. They got their butt ran up out of there. The black people started a defense league. They take their children to school, armed. They walk around their community with someone patrolling. They say, you want to come? Come on back. We're not for that peaceful protesting and all that crap. It never worked anyway. All you did was laugh at it. Now we let everyone else peacefully protest. And as I said before, the reason I say people of color, we don't have time for that. See, we black. We're not people of color. And you know what they said, and those are rallies they're having all around the nation. You know one problem I have with that? When they say, we're here for the disenfranchised people, the Latinos, people of color, the immigrants, the homosexuals. But they never mention black people. They never do. But black people are usually out for everyone. And if you say, well, they mention people of color, you know you don't consider black people people of color. Because in everything else you say black people, people of color. So why would you include black people in on that? No, everyone is all out for themselves, and they're not thinking about it because they never liked us anyway. So everyone's on their own now. We're doing our own thing. You'll find a few of us out there, but the majority of us, we're doing our own thing. We're trying to plot some new strategies. We ain't got time for all that marching. We're plotting some new strategies. See, Trump want black people to get out there to call martial law anyway. Well, no black people in numbers, sometimes none at all. We're plotting a new strategy. We'll let y'all take over our old strategy. See, because you're new to the discrimination. We're not. So we moved on. We'll let you, since you're new to it, you can use our old strategy. And what we'll do, we'll use our new strategies. We're plotting some new things. More economic things. And more personal physical defense things. Because many are planning on coming after us. Come on if you want to. And Pookie and Ray Ray, say what you got. We're going to need you. Leave each other alone. We ain't got time for no playing no more. They talking about coming after us physically. And we got to get ready for that. Oh, they might probably going to try to kick me off for that, but they let these other people stay on. talk like worse than this. I didn't say go after and get nobody. I didn't say go bother anybody. I'm saying defend yourself and your communities and your people. And I'm not talking about defending them by marching up and down the street. They haven't done us no good. That's our old strategy. We need to plot us a new strategy. That marching stuff is old. And we haven't been doing it much lately anyway. But look, let's try to find a way for those who want to get up out of here. Like I say, start your GoFundMe. They'll see you serious and you're not playing with them no more. What if 4 or 5 million people start a GoFundMe? Excuse me. And the reason is, I want to leave the United States. You think that's not? I have to look in there. I saw a net flying around here. You think that wouldn't catch their attention? And if they say, well, if you all want to leave, they don't love it, leave it. I tell you what, okay, give us $1 million apiece. And we won't need a GoFundMe. Yeah, the government, give us $1 million apiece. We'll get up out of here, pay us to go. You want us to go, pay us. Fill our pockets up. Give us that bag. We want that money. You want us to go, pay us to go. And we'll get up out of here. The ones who want to go, but the ones who want to stay, that's fine also. The reason I keep saying that, I hate to see people trying to bother people and ridicule and make fun of those who want to stay, because I can understand it, because I was at that point where I said I wouldn't leave. But if it get bad enough, I will. And I already have some places in mind. So I said to people, get your passports, even if you don't plan on leaving. So if you have to, you'll have it. Get your passports. Get your concealed carries. While you still can, because they may stop that. Get all you can right now. It's leaning towards things like that, because they may try to cut it out where you can't do it. So get your concealed carries now. On my next show, I'm going to have a number of some people you can get concealed. There's some people for $800 you can get everything in 8 hours. It's 88. In 8 hours, $800, you can get your concealed carry. Go through the class. You can go through the class. The firing, they help you get your gun. You'll get your gun and your concealed carry. All for $800. I'm going to put that up, the number now, the next time I come on the air. So you'll know where to get it. I have that information for you the next time I come on. So I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to try to start coming on a little earlier, but I'm usually busy during the day. And I'm in a very large building, and I really like coming on in the evening when the building's quiet. But it was quiet today because today's Sunday. So when I do a show during the week, that's why I try to come on in the evening when everything's quiet. Because I don't have it soundproof in here yet. I'm going to soundproof it, but it's not soundproof yet. So bear with me. I get you, because that's why I need you to help send in funds so we can get everything together. So I'm going to call it a night, but consider the things I said. And remember, the nation of Burkina Faso and their president, Ibrahim Traore. He's the new president. He used to be the general who took over the nation, and he's really getting that nation together away from that dictator. That's why we need to. That's how you could look and see how to get rid of a wannabe dictator like Vladimir D. Trump. But I'm too afraid to do something like that. Our people are too afraid to do something like that. But we'll see. Let it get bad enough. See, people who are used to hard times, they can take it a little better and know how to know how to get around like us. So, but I want everyone to get in on this, not just black people, of you know, seeing about this dictator. But I'm going to tell you, if this country does crash and burn, I really won't shed a tear. I'm more concerned about what's going to happen to people, not this nation. If they lose the status in the world, would make me no difference. The people in France and Europe say, and Britain, they say they live better now that they're no longer a world power. Not that I'm crazy about them. I just use them as an example to say, not that they're no longer, an empire, they actually have a better quality of life. They don't have to sit around and worry about trying to conquer this and conquer that. But that's why I say if the United States is no longer world power, it wouldn't bother me at all. Because we wouldn't benefit by being a world power, and we won't benefit when it's not. Maybe we will more when it's not. So I'm going to leave it at that. So be sure to look out for yourself and watch it. And if someone pulled up behind you in an unmarked van with a mask on, black van talking about DHS, I wouldn't care who they are. You need to deal with them. And you don't find no bunch of immigrants in this city. And you're not pulling up on me in no van with a mask on. Talking about throwing me in the van, taking me out of the country. And don't you all put up with that mess. What have legitimate law enforcement? What business they have wearing a mask? That's what someone who's doing something. That's for someone who's doing something illegal to do. Wear a mask. Well, they are doing something illegal. Kidnapping people and taking them out of the nation. Put them in a foreign prison. That is against the law, but not against the new laws of this land. 'Cause we don't have a constitution anymore. If the constitution can't be backed, it's like you just don't even have one. If the courts can't be backed, the courts have no relevance. If Congress can't stop this president or whatever they pass, he don't listen to it, they're irrelevant. We're already in a dictatorship. We don't have to get to one. We're already in one. So what are we going to do about it? Well, I mean, what are y'all going to do about it? I'm not going to do nothing, to tell you the truth. I'll talk about it. But that's all I'm going to do. Because I can talk about whatever I want to. But that's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to call it a good night for real this time. So you all stay tuned, tune in next time. And I'll try to come on a little earlier. And keep on the lookout. Take care of yourselves. And consider that about the cash out. I think you should. So, I bid you a good night.